F9 special, is that this character that was a bandit, that was a bandolero, that was an outlaw, is now a father, um, is a very interesting and engaging concept. We try to take themes in this saga that are important to us and we feel are important to the world and explore those themes. And that was really the objective, um, to continue from Fate of the Furious into this next chapter. And in this next chapter, although the overall theme is fatherhood, there are many interesting aspects of this storyline that are going to surprise the audience and unravel more of the identity of the characters that they feel they already know or they feel so familiar with. That's what's so fun about the evolution of the character, because it's something that we all can identify with. When we have children, the stakes are higher. When we have children, we have to care about the planet and the world and humanity in some way or another. And they see that everything he does, he has to consider the true source of his vulnerability, which is his child. That's the same in the wild. A lion is vulnerable because of its cub, and that's who Dom is. When I make Fast and Furious, there's not a moment that goes by that I don't think about my brother Pablo and the need for me to find a quiet place so I can have a hope of hearing his influence or hearing his advice, like I have grown accustomed to do over the last 2 decades. So when John Cena walked into my Dom shrine, I said to him, to play a Toretto, you're going to have to be prepared to go to some dark places. And I believed him when he said, whatever it takes. And that day I posted on my Instagram, thank you, Pablo. I believe that when somebody is a part of this franchise, they're always a part of this franchise. And so it's very important for me to find ways and opportunities to revisit their characters and to allow their characters to play in the greater mythology. Aside from the fact that I just love Helen Mirren and I love working with her. And I feel very blessed and honored that I have the opportunity to work with her. And I did get my act together and I did put her in the movie. And I kept putting her in, and I will continue to put her in the movie because I just love her so much. I feel so excited for the world to see the 9th chapter in the World Saga. And I truly, 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 truly mean it when I say, we hope to make you proud.
I think she's incredibly surprised at how fatherhood has changed but also I think that there's a part of her that loved the old version of him. And although it's a natural instinct to be more protective and secular when you have a family that needs tender, loving care, like a baby, there is that element of like, hey, we gotta save the world. Like, what world is this kid gonna live in if you don't have, people out there fighting for it? I mean, when I sit back and I think about, like, how are we ever, if we do another one, gonna top that? Just as far as action goes, I mean, the things that happen in this film are just like, okay, wait a minute, this is a game changer for sure. Yeah, that's never been, no, nobody's ever seen that before, ever. I love Han. And you know what? At the end of the day, for somebody who's been brought back from the dead, I can say nothing but yes. you know? It does raise that eyebrow of like, how close are we to a sci-fi film where you have more than one character that had died, and now all of a sudden you realize that they weren't dead. How many times could you pull that off in a franchise and not lose your credibility? But then again, I'm like, have you seen our movies? the kind of ways that we defy physics and facts. Yeah, let's just say, I think that we're not we're not hiding the fact that a lot of the stuff is crazy. But I think that a lot of people are gonna be happy. Justin's cool, man. He's got a lot that I think he's got a lot of skin in the game. 'Cause he's the one who was directing the franchise movie that took it to the next level. I mean, Fast Five was the defining factor for it was the line being pushed on what the franchise movies were going to be about in the future. And so being a part of that, then being away from the franchise for as long as he had been, for like 2 movies, I think he's coming back with some gusto. Um, and lots of love, for the characters that he created in 3, and with knowledge of the franchise and love for the franchise. So and you can tell he's really not holding back when it comes to the action. It's on steroids. So yeah, I'm happy it's in the hands of somebody who cares.
When I found out I was coming back, I just, I talked to Justin about it, and I was like, I can't wait. Like, get me in there. And I also have Vin to thank in a major way, because he definitely wanted to bring the family back together. And it's not that it felt great to be back. It just felt so odd to be gone. It felt like it didn't really make sense. So it's wonderful to be back. Our family's always been a mystery, where we came from, who our father is. And so to have those pieces filled in is also really interesting to me as an actor, because it's like, oh, okay, that's where Dom's coming from. That's what the history is, and then you understand all the more what the importance is of their makeshift family that they've brought together. But yeah, adding the Jakob element is interesting, because now we get to explore that, because most of this movie, they're all fighting each other and trying to reconcile their past, and once that's done, it's like, okay, well, where do we go from here? Which because they're 2 really strong forces, so what do we do with that? That'll be interesting to explore. And the other thing I love about this journey is I get to work with Michelle, which I hadn't really. I was always in scenes with Michelle. We were, we've always promoted things together, but we never really got to interact. And I adore her, and I adore how much she's grown over the last 20 years, how she keeps on evolving and changing, and she's so curious. So to be able to get to work with her, and she knows her stuff. Like, there's certain things been in this business for so long, but I still take for granted. Whereas she's like, okay, that lighting and that and this. Like, she's great to work with. I love her. A beat of the scene that I really enjoyed between Letty and Mia was when I call her on her stuff. Because it's always Letty calling everyone else on their stuff and being the truth teller. And in this, we kind of just got to explore what our relationship was, how we feel about where we are in our lives, why we're doing what we're doing, which you barely get to see. Mostly it's like action, 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 and then, like, you know, the regular boy-girl love relationship, and not just friendships. But our friendship has lasted so long, and you have to, and the other thing I wanted to explore was, yes, I'm loyal to my brother, but I'm also really loyal to you because you're my girl, and I'd do anything for you. So it's really fun to be able to bring that dynamic to life. I think Justin makes all the difference, because I think Justin cares so much about story. He cares so much about character. I mean, he makes references from like 4, and sometimes I'm like, huh? But then I have to like look back and check, like, what was he talking about? But I think the continuity of character, the evolution of the family, that matters so much to him, and so it has heart, and I think that's what the audience loves. I think when someone recognizes me or recognizes anyone else from the cast and they go, Mia, like, it's like we're all connected. It's like we're all family because we have this history together. So this movie is imbued with that history, but it also like goes, it's, you know, it has so many elements. It goes where no one else has really gone before. So, but it's still a super grounded action movie with family at the very core, which I think Justin does beautifully.
Where is the buzz?
Oh,
Where is the buzz? You said
We used to be a
was
singer.
mine,
Oh,
mine.
where is the buzz?
Ooh.